all that with you this lunchtime. She's always grafting. It's Jane Moore. Definitely a bit of a sort. Syra Khan. When she's not mugging someone off, she's sticking it on someone. It's Colleen Nolan.
I get tired.
And they're definitely my type on paper. It's me, Andrew McLean. I don't even know what any of that means. Not a bit. Now, our final guest today was in one of the biggest bands of the 80s. But behind the five-star music, all was not as it seemed. And she's about to make some explosive revelations.
God, it feels so surreal, and I'm used to having 4 other people with me.
Oh, well, you have got 4 other people with you. You just don't know us.
Exactly the same. Sensational.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Jamaican dad, Indian mother. What can I say?
Wow.
I mean,
to you ladies.
For us, it's strange looking back on that time because all the memories come flooding back, and each song brings back memories of their own. Yeah. For you, obviously, we were watching it, but you were living it. Yeah. What was that time like when Five Star was at its absolute peak?
Busy.
Yeah.
Manic. It was great that we had our dad because I guess we clung to each other as family, you know, so... And we saw it as fun. It was never... People used to say to us, I've got your brothers on my wall, and we were like, why?
Yeah. It's really annoying. Why would you do that?
Why would you want to do that, you know? But it was just a fast time, busy time. I don't remember ever stopping, you know, we were touring,
Did you enjoy it?
I did at first.
How old were you?
I was 14.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother
See, I
was
remember
11.
coming to interview you, all of you, when you just moved in. You bought a very swanky house out in Surrey or somewhere.
Yes.
And there were 5 supercars on the driveway.
That's right.
And only one of you had passed your driving test. And at that point, I remember thinking, I think the expenditure might be getting a little bit out of hand here.
Well, just to correct you, it was Dell that could drive. We could all drive.
Right.
I had a Ferrari that my brothers totally petrified me into driving. It's too fast, so I cleaned it. It was very shiny. And it sat in my drive forever.
Just to look at.
Was that because you were told to live that lifestyle? Or is it the lifestyle that you wanted to live?
No, I don't even think we were thinking of lifestyle. I think it was very important to my dad. You know, we were successful. We moved into a big house. And I remember this, actually, because I had no self-confidence in driving. I had passed my test, but I hadn't driven yet. I was 17. And I said to my dad, can I just get a Mini? Because if I crash, it's a Mini.
Yeah.
You know?
Not a Lamborghini or a Ferrari.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he said, no, you have to get a really nice car. So I was really upset. We went for a drive and I saw a silver Ferrari zoom by. And I said to my brother, I'm going to get a Ferrari.
Wow.
So that was it for my 21st birthday.
So life was fairly surreal, I suppose. And there's an interesting story that you've told about meeting Eddie Murphy. Now, to put into context, Eddie Murphy was huge during this time. He was an international star. You, as a young woman, wrote him a fan letter. And next thing, he hops on a plane and comes over to see you. And my word, things moved quickly after that.
Yes. It did. We were, I think we had just finished touring. So I remember walking into the sitting room and my mum had big bags of fan mail. So I thought the first thing I'm going to do, because I wrote to Michael Jackson and he never wrote back. So I said
How old were you at this point?
I was 21.
Right.
Yeah. So I said to my mother that, you know, if I'm ever famous, I would always write to my fans. So I sat doing that. And then it got quiet. We were just the five of us at home, and my brother was watching one of his stand-ups.
Yeah.
So I found him really funny, made me smile. So I thought, let me thank him for his talent. I left no address, no number, nothing. And within 2 weeks, he had called. His secretary called and said, Eddie wants to speak to you. And then he says, can I come and take you out to dinner? I was like, why not? So I did.
So he hopped on a plane and just came over from America.
Yeah, there's so much to say about that.
I know.
So, can I... what happened at the dinner? In fact, what did you have for dinner? No.
At the dinner that he took me out to,
Yeah, I mean,
engagement
was
dinner.
he, was he everything you wanted it to be? Or?
No, he was nothing that I wanted him to be. Unfortunately not. I remember when we got engaged, I didn't like the ring. I thought it's a diamond cut in the shape of a
Can
diamond.
I just interject? At what point did you get engaged?
Oh, 5 days.
5 days.
And we had wooden floor, so he got onto one knee and he heard someone coming, so he jumped up and sat on the sofa. And he said, will you marry me? And I said, no, 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 no. Yes.
Did you not find that a bit odd?
I don't know. I was 21 and
it was
never been
Eddie
out with
Murphy.
anyone.
Yeah, was he your first boyfriend?
Yes,
sort of?
he was. Very first. Yeah.
He wasn't very nice to you. I mean, you told a story about the you were cold in the restaurant. He
Yes,
said, yeah.
yes. I
Tell
think,
us that one.
We were engaged at that time, and I was freezing. When I get nervous, I get cold. And he saw me doing this, and he said, "Don't expect me to give you your jacket because I'm not getting cold." So my brother was with me, Del, and he took his jacket off and put it around my shoulder.
So I'm just sort of intrigued because we later learned quite a bit about Eddie Murphy via him being with Mel B. They had a daughter together. He demanded a DNA test. Through all of that, sort of how did that make you feel? That because, you know, you could have married him. And secondly, have you ever contacted her about it and just said, hey, I know how you're feeling?
I haven't. I just knew when I heard her story, the only thing that was different was that it was her name instead of mine, and that I didn't have a child with him. And I was thankful for that, and I felt for her.
Yeah.
I really did feel for her. Yeah, so...
Lorraine, I remember when you guys burst onto our screen, you know, for me and my family and, you know, my cousins, you were an inspiration because you were up there, you were this amazing black family, brothers and sisters doing your stuff. Did you encounter any racism in the music industry, or was it actually okay?
It was okay. I mean, not to our face, but I do remember when Epic, a few guys from Epic came to our house, to Stone Court, our big house, and I was walking around the grounds and I stood behind one of our buildings and I heard them say, they have too much for a black family.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. They have too much for a black family?
Yeah, this is
what
not
do you mean,
right.
like all your
or
cars
everything
and...
we had, yeah. I went and spoke to my dad about it, but my dad was so business, he said, Lara, maybe you heard wrong. But I share that because it was my experience, my ears, and I heard that. Well, but during our career, not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah.
We're really lucky. Lorraine is going to stay on with us to continue chatting with us. And we've got a really fascinating topic, because it's interesting you mentioned your dad. Can a woman ever escape a controlling father, even if that control comes out of love, even on into adult life? We're going to be talking dad-daughter issues. Plus, we're going to be revealing the results of our spy test to see who could be the next Jane Bond and who is more Inspector Clueless. We'll see you in a bit. Now, 5 stars, Lorraine Pearson is still here. Now, like our lovely Colleen, you were in a band. Colleen was very big in Japan.
Massive.
Wow.
Yeah.
And very similar stories in that obviously it was a family band and your dad managed you. Obviously, that can lead to complications because, you know, you can't sack your dad. Well, I suppose you can, but you have to still talk to him. How was it being managed by your father?
It was good. It was very good. My dad knew the ins and outs of the business, so we trusted him because we were teenagers, you know, so traveling with him, working with him. We didn't have to think. He led the way and we did what we needed to do. But as we got older, we had different perspective, you know, and you can't have 5 heads going the same way as you get older. We were thinking husbands, boyfriends, babies, marriage.
Also, as
you know,
well,
but-
I mean, I absolutely understand why having your dad as your manager makes total sense when you're a fledgling.
Yeah.
But when you get to the point where you're an international star and you're doing these amazing deals with huge record companies who might not necessarily be adverse to taking advantage of someone who doesn't understand the music industry, was there a point where you thought, you know, we need someone who really knows what they're doing at this level?
No, it was just thinking. It was just thinking. When can we separate?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think that's
You
the
know?
hardest part,
Yeah.
though, with
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
with your parent,
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
on the things you don't agree with, I don't know
Yeah.
if you feel the same, but things, it's very hard to turn around to your dad, because in his eyes you're still 5,
Yeah.
and go, I'm not doing that, or you're wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they go, don't speak to me like that. And I
Yeah.
go, well, I'm 35, I think I can. You can't ground me anymore. So it does become, like you said, it becomes difficult.
It is
doesn't
difficult because I have left 5 Star so many times. But I loved my dad and I adore him, and I always went back.
But after he passed away, that's when you left for good, isn't it?
Yes, I haven't been back with the group for 6 years.
And what about when you were growing up? You said that your first boyfriend was when you were 21 years old. So what was your dad like about boyfriends and girlfriends?
Strict. I mean, as for speaking for me, I remember my parents raising us to whoever you go out with is the person you marry.
Oh.
So that was always in my head, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was. My parents were strict. You know, it was just the way we grew up. It was just that way. So we weren't used to anything else.
Yeah.
You know. So that was where my mind was. My avenue
Yeah.
with Eddie Murphy was
I
at
know
his hair.
One of the aspects of dads, which all dads do actually, is very much like, oh, you don't need to have children until you get older.
Yeah.
And I think you had your daughter Nadege, who's 11 now,
Yeah,
is
she's
it?
11.
At what, 39?
39 and a half.
And you had to have IVF.
Yes,
do you,
I did.
do you feel a little bit kind of wistful about that maybe if you'd started earlier, you'd have had more?
Well, my dad did with me. I remember him saying, Laura, you're in your 20s, you can wait until you're 30. I was in my 30s. Women are having babies in their 40s now, Laura. It's okay. You know, I don't know if at 20 I would have had problem conceiving. I don't know. You know, but I went through the whole IVF procedure and had my daughter. But yeah, my dad was very focused on our success. And I love him for it because I wouldn't be sat here because of my dad.
Yeah.
You know? But
Sorry, I was going to say, but what about keeping your brothers and sisters together and loving each other? Because you've had a bit of a fallout, haven't you, with your sister, which you
My
kind
younger
of
sister,
talk
yeah.
quite openly about. Do you think he'd be disappointed because of that?
disappointed that it's come out that we've had a disagreement,
Yeah.
or that, I mean, in general, my dad always knew that Denise and I never got on.
Right.
We did, as kids, we were inseparable. As we got older, it got more difficult, and working in the group, it was just somewhere I didn't want to be anymore.
So does that mean maybe, because I'm just seeing a lot of bands like 5 Star are reuniting, and there's a big market for reunion tours and things like that. Does that... There you go. Would that rule out that?
For now, yes.
Yeah.
For now, yes. I mean, I found out, not from family, just going on the internet, trying to find a good picture to show a friend, and I thought, I recognise this girl, and it was my sister, and 4 other people behind her. Now, we have 5 Star is a legacy. I respect it, I love it, and I will not perform in it unless we're doing class performances, because we started that way. And
Is she putting that out as 5 Star?
she is. She's the voice of 5 Star, but the 5 Star logo is still there. And she says that, you know, the people, the backup singers that are with her, respect and love the legacy of 5 Star, but I don't think any of them were born when we started.
Right.
So I can't see where the respect for the legacy would come in. The blood, sweat and tears from my dad, from the 5 of us, that's passionate. That's why I choose to speak, because it is very passionate for me. I came from that family.
Yeah.
You
When
know,
did you last speak to Denise?
about 3 years ago. Yeah. I love her very much. I love my sister. It's
don't
very
like her?
difficult to like. Yeah, it's very difficult. And there's nothing wrong with it. I had to separate myself and say to myself, Lorraine, this is your story. This is the situation with your sister, and it's fine to talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, because...
Can I
Everybody thinks that we should get on, and we don't. You know,
I think once you can accept that, that's okay.
Yeah, it
You
is
can still
okay.
love someone, but we're very different people. I've had it
Yes.
with my family.
I'm
we're just
sure.
very different people.
And also,
Yeah.
that's not something that it just pertains to families in the limelight. That's something that's completely
Yeah.
normal around the world.
Absolutely, yeah.
Would you ever consider a singing career again, or is that something that you've closed the book on and you'd like to do something else?
Definitely like to do something else.
What would you like to do?
I would like to do a lot of presenting. I like to talk. I'm the chatty sort, and my dad was like, "Oh, you do all the talking." And my brothers were quiet, and sisters were quite shy and
Yeah.
reserved, so I just yapped away and you know,
Okay.
and just got on with it. Yeah,
Do you live in this country now?
I don't.
Where do you live?
I live in Doha.
In
the Middle
Doha.
East, yeah.
Okay.
We need to come back here.
I know.
Paul.
It's a bit of a commute. Yeah. It's a bit of a commute.
6 hour.
Do you know, it's been really lovely and refreshing having you on today, and we love and admire your honesty. And I know talking about your family, whether it's your dad or your sister, is not the easiest thing to
It's
do.
not at all.
But thank you for coming on our show. It's lovely to see you. That is it for today. Tomorrow we have got a cracker of a show as Josie Gibson discovers the gender of her new baby live. And Louis Tomlinson's dad will be here with a special message just for him. I will see you at 12:30. Bye-bye.
We look back 65 years to the Queen's coronation in colour tonight at 9 here on